Haley has a cat, and I was like, when she told me she was gonna get a cat, Kevin, you okay, buddy?
Hey, Dad. Dad.
When she told me she was gonna get a cat, I was like, all right, well, we're gonna roll the dice here because cats are either little demons, the devil from hell, or they're like kind of cute and chill
And cuddly, yeah.
and cuddly. But
Okay.
more often than not, they're little nightmare demons. And this fucking cat won't let you touch her really at all.
Awesome.
And she gives you the
What does
claws
she do?
and she bites
She'll
you.
claw you?
Yeah, she's just
See,
like
that's
not
what I like about the bunnies
pleasant.
here. They don't get pissed off when you try and pet them and they don't want it. They're just like, they just brush you off.
They just
and
let
then-
it
Oh.
happen because they're
Yeah.
terrified of dying.
Get away from me. I'm a bunny, and I do not want you
Yeah.
to touch me right now. Go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
What accent
French.
is that, Joe?
I don't know.
It's French.
It's a song.
It's
It's
French?
rabbit.
I guess it is kind of French, huh?
I don't know.
Rabbit French.
Can you show
Rabbit
us the
French.
bunnies again, Kevin? Now that we're recording?
God damn it! Now I gotta unplug this computer.
No,
again.
you
Oh,
don't-
then don't worry about it.
I want you to
I'm
tell
not
us.
that. I'm not
we-
trying to put effort in.
People
I
ain't
don't
talking
care.
about.
Why don't you
bunnies.
pick up one of those bunnies and bring it up here with you?
Why don't you eat that bunny in front of
Pick
us?
one up and hold it the whole
Just
time.
put that bunny in your mouth right in front of us. Show us
Yeah.
how it tastes.
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes. I think it starts with your show.
Kevin,
What,
what
if
is
you, what happened if you what would happen if you picked up one of those bunnies and brought it right up to your face and said toilet like as loud
They
as you
would be-
could? Would it
they'd
die?
Freeze. Pop, not right in that moment, but maybe afterwards, after they
You
got
could
down.
kill it by yelling toilet at it.
I think so, man.
Well, Elliot has
Do you feel
numerous
powerful with
times
that?
told us how many times we could startle a bunny and its back would just break. So
Yep. It's like the one thing I know, and I will repeat it to the day
Well,
I die.
I've had little animals and stuff before, Kevin, and obviously, like, you know, your intrusive thoughts.
Dude,
Like,
it's
you know,
Ellie.
When there's
Ellie
little
does it all the
animals
time.
around, you have like
Yeah,
a
Ellie
tiny
does it.
intrusive thought, and you're like, what if I stepped on one of these
Just
by
scream.
accident?
Of course, man.
You know, so your
Or what if I
intrusive
just-
thoughts are always like, I could just this little dog's head is like an apple, and I could just crush it.
your
Yeah, especially
intrusive
a
thoughts are very,
chihuahua.
very.
That's very violent.
They're fleeting. I would never act on them, but it's the same thought of like, can you scream toilet at a rabbit and it would die?
You guys ever have the intrusive thought when you're driving and there's a cliff and you're like,
Absolutely.
Every
dude.
time. I think
one little
everybody
jerk
does.
of the arm.
Absolutely. Almost every time. And that includes piers, like
Just like your friends and
bridges.
stuff.
Bridges.
The person walking the crosswalk when you're like the first one too, and they just
Uh-huh.
about to pass you car, and you just think,
Yep, just
Right
a little
into
bit
it.
something. Wake up.
Sometimes
just a little.
Sometimes I think of like, what angle can I hit this divider that where it won't hurt anybody else, but it'll get rid of me fast.
The most complicated way of suicide.
I don't
That
want to
was you
hurt
on your way back
anybody,
from
but
the,
I want to be gone now.
That was after you left the dentist with your estimate.
Yeah.
After I looked at the bill, I was like, I don't want anybody else to be affected by my very fast goodbye.
Kevin, what is the worst thing and the best thing about having bunnies?
The worst thing is now I have to be so much quieter, like Steve said, because I used to like be able to yell and shit. Toilet. And the best thing
You
is
could kill
just
them by
having
yelling.
something to take care of. I actually like that. Surprisingly, I like
You're
the
like a mother.
responsibility of providing them life.
Mm.
Yeah, but these
Like a
are
ritual.
like really
Like a
fragile little beings. Like
You know
even
what
more
happens if-
fragile than dog.
I mean, it's
little
like a
doggies.
baby. Think about a baby.
I think it's more. Aren't they more fragile than a baby?
I would say
You
they're
don't break a
less
baby's
fragile than a
back.
baby.
You don't break a baby's back when you pick
You
up
can't
the-
break a baby's back.
Then you're
can't
not
break a
trying
baby's
hard
back.
enough.
You can't break a baby.
A baby can kick and scream. You can't break babies.
All right.
First of all, you can't
Wait,
break babies.
do you have new pet owner like going places guilt? Like if you go somewhere,
Yeah.
like, I gotta get back to the
Dude,
bunnies.
this happened the other night at Surrounded, which I was gonna bring up because everybody wanted to go get drinks after the show at like 10 p.m. and they were like, we could just stay out until like midnight or like 1 a.m. or whatever. And in my head, I was just like, well, partly is like, I just don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to go out drinking right now.
Yeah.
But the excuse I made was I got to go home and make
Get
sure
high
the
with
buns
my
are fed.
bunnies.
Yeah.
It says here that rabbits are prey animals.
Very religious.
Very religious.
And that's where praying comes from.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
Bunnies.
we learned it from. That's why Easter bunny.
It says
Fertility
they can
Which I
die from just about anything, from change of diet to
Crucifixion.
jumping or falling the wrong way.
Yeah.
Burnt sacrifices, burnt offerings,
But they'll
Martyrdom,
come back in 3 days.
stoning.
Every time.
a lot of stoning.
Stoning.
That's
A lot
so
of people
crazy.
stone. That's what Jesus talked about. Like, who among us?
I guess, like, for me, like,
Stone that
personally, like, I understand why you have rabbits, Kevin, because it's like, you know, if you want a pet, like,
But I can't have anything
you know,
else.
and you can't have a cat or a dog or anything like that, then sure. But for me, it's like, I don't think I'd ever want to be responsible for something so fragile.
What are you
Bunnies-
afraid is going to happen, though?
What
Like,
are you afraid of,
What are you
Steve?
afraid of? Well, there's a lot
Like,
of
are you
things...
just stomping around your house, not looking where you're going?
No,
all
but
the
there's a
time?
lot of things here that they could, like, climb up on, maybe,
Well,
and then fall down off of.
Yeah, you rabbit-proof the house a bit.
Or
Like,
if I
have
see a
shit gated
spider and
off.
go, ah, fuck! And then it, like, has a heart attack and dies.
I mean, yeah, it's possible, but Ellie's kind of showed them what loud noises are. She just will scream randomly.
Drag her,
and,
dude.
like, dude,
What happens when she screams at
she
them?
just they freak out. They freak the fuck out.
What do they
run
do?
away.
They run
thump,
away?
They
Dark
thump
Heart
at
Alley.
her. Yeah, and then
They
she gets
thump
so
at her.
sad.
What is that? They just stomp their foot on the ground?
I told you they slam their foot on the ground as hard as they can.
Like, just once?
Once or twice, depending on how annoyed they are.
Is it loud?
It's so loud. You can hear it if it's in the other room.
Whoa, so if they wanted to knock you out or break your nose, they could
Dude,
do
their
it?
legs.
Really?
That's why if I put them back butt facing me, dude, right in the face, broken nose probably.
You think you'd get it right in the face? They'd kick you out?
What?
I'd be kicked out.
They'd kick you right up?
I'd kicked out. I'd be kicked out.
You'd be kicked
I think
out?
bunnies are proof that evolution is not a goal-oriented process because they're clearly an accident. They clearly just made it under the wire.
Yeah, there was no plan. Well, that
No
proves there wasn't a
plan.
plan. Like,
No
God's
plan.
plan.
They're just like,
There's...
we just keep surviving.
Because I think, isn't... Because evolution is like, let's give things a try, right? Uh-oh, what are you hearing?
You okay, Ellie?
Can you repeat
Yeah, sorry,
that
her
though, please,
screaming.
Steve?
It was Grace. She
Can you
was
tell us
screaming.
what evolution is, Steve,
Is
again?
she
One more
okay?
time.
She's screaming about her. She got hacked.
Is
Did
she
you see
screaming
this?
toilet?
She
What?
got hacked last week.
on what?
man.
A week ago, Grace's Twitter account got hacked by someone selling laptops that for
Dude.
breast cancer charities,
No.
and so people thought it was like real. And she was blocked me. Her account blocked me for a while
Fuck.
because I was DMing them. I DM'd her also from the Valleyfolk account, and they blocked the Valleyfolk account.
Were they
as well.
DMing us you back?
Shit, I was supposed to work with
They
those
did
guys.
because I would DM them and I'd be like, "Are they brand new?" And they would be like, "Yeah," and I would be like, "What's your information?" And then they would look at the account and then they would block.
You're like, what's
Damn.
your location? What's
I said some meaner things than that. It's like,
That's a thing on Twitter. The same thing happened to Bobby Lee like 5 years ago, the comedian Bobby Lee, and he still has never gotten his account back. It's still used for
Whoa.
Isn't it
computer
crazy?
selling.
almost every
Like
podcast,
5 years
Kevin-
later.
It's like Kevin has the same fact about Bobby Lee that I do about bunny rabbits. It's so crazy. The dude's obsessed with Bobby Lee.
I
fucking
never
love
stopped
Bobby
talking
Lee,
about
man.
him. Wait a minute.
I do
So,
love. I think it's
did she
very
get it
funny.
back, or is it still?
Yeah, she got back. It took like a full day, so we don't know how much money they made or how many fans got
Jesus.
scammed. But people were. She was telling.
Damn, that's
Very funny.
fucked up, and I hate
It was
I
really
hate it.
angry. It was very angry. The use of the breast cancer charity was especially
Awful.
like
That's some predatory shit.
very
that's like-
predatory and dark.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway, sorry for interrupting. I just heard her.
No,
screaming.
I'm glad
Blame her.
everything's okay over there.
Wait, why did she scream though?
Dude,
She
she
can
got
check
hacked, you fucking idiot. Didn't you
Not
hear this?
just
She's been in agony
she
for
just
a
got
week.
hacked.
Don't you know that Grace reacts 1 week later every time?
Oh, I
She was
didn't know
slamming her
this.
leg out.
Okay.
She was thumping in the other room.
If I held her up to my face and she like swung her leg, she would
Butt to
break my
face. Yeah.
She'd get kicked out.
nose. Mhm.
Jesus. Man, that's just one of those, like, here's an extra bit of shit on your shit pile sandwich. It sucks.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
It was like, we don't need this right now. And then she's like getting, and then you couldn't do anything. Like no one that any YouTube person who used to know someone at Twitter no longer knows
'cause
anyone
Twitter's
at
just-
X.
yeah.
Joe Biden's Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
It is. And Twitter was fine before Joe Biden was elected. I'm not saying there's anything else going on, but interesting.
Where's Joe Biden getting his money from? That's what
Yeah.
I want to know.
Follow it.
Follow that paper trail.
All the way back to Tom at MySpace. Just like,
Did you guys hear about Burning Man?
dude,
Yeah, I wanted
how
to
many
ask
people-
if you knew the
Is Whitney
info
there?
about this.
Yeah, a lot of my friends are over there, and they go completely off the grid. And I think
Harley's
unless you-
there.
Harley's there, yeah. I think unless you have Starlink, which is like a
That's a Musk
internet,
thing.
it's like a satellite internet connection
Yeah.
thing that you have to pay a lot of money for, then the internet connection there is like real bad. But reports from I haven't heard from my friends because they go off the grid, but reports from the playa and from the past like 16 hours or something have been that it's a mess and it's fucked up. Basically what happened is they got a big old storm over there, and this playa is made of like baby powder, like baking soda dust.
It's an old lake bed. Yeah.
It's a lake bed with like ancient fish shit all over it, and it's really dusty, and so everyone gets dusty as a motherfucker. It's not sand, it's dust. And when that gets wet, it becomes like clay,
Like a paste,
essentially.
yeah.
And so a lot of people were trapped and cars couldn't move. And a lot of people like freaked out and tried to like walk for like 7 hours to get outside of the gates because they couldn't drive their cars. And they're like hoping to
they're
get picked
completely
up
cut
by-
off from society right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a lot of people are saying that like if you just stayed where you were, most people had like enough food for everyone brings tons of food and water. They're like gonna be there for like I forgot how long it's for, like 2 weeks or something. I don't know.
Jesus.
How do
Not
they
long.
spread like a message of like warning to everybody at once, or does it just go through word of mouth if everyone's
Well,
off the grid?
I guess they knew that there was going to be severe weather coming through, and most
just didn't
people were like, "Let's go, man! Let's do it!" Like,
It's Burning Man. We got to.
I mean, Burning Man's kind
It's
of like a.
It's not a lifestyle.
grueling-
It's a personality.
It's like it could be like a grueling experience, like even on its own with all the dust and how you're roughing it out there. And so everyone's just kind of like, this is how the burn goes, man. Sometimes it's hard. I mean, it's never easy, but it's always fun and worth it or whatever, but
It's a burning curve.
I think people knew there was a storm coming
Stupid.
through. I don't think they knew how bad it was going to be. But yeah, I think what they do is, since it is like a small town, it's like a community, like a city.
They build a temporary city. Yeah.
They build a temporary city. So they've been going around and informing everybody that they are I forgot what the
Fucked.
verbiage was. What do they call it? Locked in or locked
Quarantined.
down? They have to stay. They have to stay in place.
Shelter in place.
Shelter in place. That's what it was.
They're completely locked off. There's nothing they can do right now.
But from what I've been reading on like the Burning Man subreddit and stuff, because I have been really concerned about my friends. Apparently, like most people are kind of just making the most of it, and like
I imagine that. Yeah.
they're still partying, they're still having fun, and it's not like devastating. It's just that it
They
sounds
can't
kind of
leave.
scary that they're like locked down and they like closed it off, and people can't come in or out.
in this era of constant, nonstop climate tragedy where it seems like there's something happening every week, I can appreciate a group of people just saying fuck it and continuing to
And just
party.
going for it.
It reminds me.
Yeah.
You should visit Florida, Joe.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. It really, like, all I've got in my mind is Independence Day when they're on top of the building in LA and they're all like,
They're like, we're all gonna die.
and
They're
then,
like, let's just party.
yeah, that's how we all have to just go out.
There was a really interesting story that came out of all this Burning Man stuff that like Chris Rock. Did you hear about the Chris Rock
I saw the video. Yeah.
thing? It's like Chris Rock and Diplo were like, we're getting the fuck out of here as soon as the like lockdown thing happened. And they like went through like all these impossible odds to like try to get out. And then like eventually a hovercraft. Like they connected with some fans that were like, hey, we heard you're stuck at Burning Man. We have a hovercraft. We can come pick you up in a hovercraft and then get you out of there. And so these fans came in a hovercraft and took Diplo and Chris Rock to safety.
That's the most fun thing that has ever happened.
It really is the most fun thing that's happened. Can you imagine being in that hovercraft? Like, woo, yeah! Just like going, this is great.
Oh,
The rich get quickly picked up.
Yeah.
The rich get quickly picked up. There we go. There we
I
go.
heard someone. The most I heard about it was that they were like, "This will weed out the people who are just like the weekenders who just
Yeah.
kinda are like
Oh,
luxury,
yeah.
and the people who are true like burners will
Yeah.
burners.
with it."
Some people only go for like a couple of days anyway, which I had read on Facebook. Some of my friends were coming home like just before the big
The storm.
storm happened.
I was legitimately I thought some of the numbers that I was reading online were hyperbole, but I guess not. Like the number of people that go to Burning Man, I kept reading like
It's
70,000.
insane. It's insane.
70.
Holy shit.
70,000, yeah.
I guess
That's-
I mean you kind of always hear somebody going, at least out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, they and again, we were talking about like just like we said, they it's like a small
That's
city.
crazy.
And it's like a city with like that's populated by like a city amount of people.
Man, that's the whew. Those are some crazy numbers to where if like that if the weather was even worse, like imagine if it was worse.
Oh god.
Mhm.
Well, they were
that many people.
they were talking about how because last night I was reading it as I was falling asleep, the subreddit, but they were talking about how there was going to be a storm in the nighttime too, and it might continue on through the day, and then they're supposed to wait 36 hours for the clay to dry so that it's like walk throughable and drivable.
Nightmare.
Drive throughable. But yeah, so however long the rain takes, they'll have to wait for it to dry in order for them to like leave and stuff. So I don't know, man. It's fucking
Have
crazy.
you ever done Burning Man, Steve?
No, I've been invited and
You have not enough interest.
yeah, I just I used to go camping when I was a kid. My dad would take us camping. And so I've done like the tent camping, the sleeping bag camping, the like RV camping. I feel like I would be prepared a little bit for something like that, but the dust would feel like I feel like I'd be so frustrated being covered in dust, and there's just like no relief from it. Like you can hide from it for a little bit, but then you like go back out. Like you can't just stay indoors the whole time, and you've paid like thousands of dollars to like be there and have the equipment and have all the necessary like stuff. It's just like not. It's.
Not for
I'd
you.
rather go to Fantastic Fest or like
Yeah.
save up for
Target.
a big Japan trip or something. Save up
Target.
for Target, get whatever I want.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh,
Dude,
Oh,
Buffalo
man,
Wild
great
Wings, get
choice.
whatever I want.
Stay a full week.
I'll get whatever I want at
Dude.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
I haven't been to Buffalo Wild Wings since we were at the office, man.
Yeah, it's been that long.
Yeah. That
Joe,
shit
have you
was
been
good.
back?
Oh, sure. I go every once in a while.
I know you like it. I know you
I have a
think you
special
like it
place
more
in
than
my
any
heart
of
for
us.
that because that was the first like meal I had with you guys. It was me, Joe, and Elliot and Buffalo
Yeah.
Wild Wings when we were first meeting.
Cool.
And so I have a special place in my heart for that.
The
Nice.
hotel was really fun after that too.
Mm-hmm. A really special place.
Ew, God.
Somebody was stumping. It wasn't a rabbit.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Burning Man subreddit, and it looks like people are just kind of like this post says, I walked out muddy from the thighs down, and now in the back of a pickup truck with hypothermia at 3:30 a.m. while on acid.
Yeah, this is going to give every Burning Man person who is already kind of insufferable about talking about Burning Man so much more to talk about. This is
I know,
gonna
because they're
last.
going to be like, we survived
Yeah.
this like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gotta also
think there's-
imagine this is somebody's first Burning Man, and that really sucks for that.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Yeah.
thought about that. I was like, what if this was your first one?
And
You
you're like
saved
tripping on
up
mushrooms and like, oh, it looks like it looks like mud if you look close. No,
Crazy.
Feels like rain. Oof. Nope. No, thank you.
There's a post here that says, it's not that bad here. Don't believe the hype.
Yeah, I imagine that as well.
I'm sure some people are, like you said, making the best of it, and then others just are like,
Or acting
I
like
have
it's
a
the
job I got to
apocalypse.
get back to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm planning on being home for that.
Yeah.
Isn't it also? It's in Las Vegas too that it's super flooding right now.
Yeah.
So people can't really.
Yep. It's not good. Casinos are flooding. Yeah, it's not.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
We're falling apart.
Oh,
We're not,
wow.
we're not
Check
doing
out-
great.
Check this out. Out of
Oh,
our
fuck.
comfort zone. Yeah. This is the post. This was our first burn and probably the last one.
Why?
Jesus.
We arrived on Friday in the middle of a
Suck it up.
sandstorm. We arrived on Friday in the middle of a sandstorm and we're happy to see the first drops of rain. Good, we said.
Drops of
This will
Jupiter.
make it less dusty. Well, the drops became a diluvian nightmare and all activities were canceled. Not possible to bike, so we walk, or at least tried with the amount of mud that became clay. We were looking forward for Saturday evening, ready for the man to be burnt, but it was canceled. No possible way to leave with the muddy streets and the gates closed. The final item in our odyssey was to run out of water and toilet not working. So that was it, my dear friends. The long-awaited moment of true and confrontation with our own limitations, the moment to learn patience, resilience, acceptance, and take the best of a situation that we cannot control. This is why we came. Mission accomplished. Noah made it. We made it in the Animalia year. What the fuck?
So they're out. This guy's crazy. This guy was tripping as he wrote
Well,
that.
it's interesting because I was reading about the toilets. That part sounded pretty fucking awful. Apparently, by like 5 p.m. yesterday, all of the porta potties were filled. Like literally, like you open up the door and you could see poop
Poop Mountain, like I saw.
coming
at the
out
Hollywood
of
Bowl.
the
Yeah.
and so some people have RVs and were probably okay with their RV and the storage that they had. But for anybody that was like relying on the porta potties, apparently what I read was people were shitting into Pringles containers.
That is such a stupid. That's so logical.
Isn't that so logical? It's
I need like
such
a cylinder. I need like a big thing
Yeah.
to put a cylinder.
that
like,
can
and
be
with the
sealed
seal on top.
immediately.
Yeah.
This is like some off the grid survival pack shit.
Wow.
I got a
like
Dorito
10
bag. Get your Dorito bag out of here.
No way. We need a Pringles can. It fits right around the O-ring.
We're a Pringles family.
We're a Pringles family. Damn, dude.
Joe, I do
Anyway,
have to say, you did quite a nice setup there if that was you on that birthday table.
What is?
I believe this is a five Nights at Freddy's
This is a Five Nights
birthday
at
party.
Freddy's themed birthday party. And we had very few Five Nights things, but let me show you the cake that Heather made. It's pretty impressive.
And
that?
was this who's the birthday?
Is this Jackson?
Well, Jackson, he's 10.
Jackson?
He's
Okay.
10.
He's 10 years old.
that's crazy. 10 years ago, that little bugger was born. That little chicken nugget.
Okay.
Where
Here
he's
it comes.
bringing the cake over.
He just
He's
drops
de-
it.
he's
I know.
delicate.
I hope he drops it. I
That'd be
hope
the
he
best.
does.
Well,
Whoa. Oh.
it's
Uh-oh.
and,
Hold on.
oh, and
Take the laptop.
wait, is that like bloody?
Uh-oh.
It's all
Uh-oh.
falling apart.
Oh,
Whoa. And there's
damn!
It's like it's Wilson from Castaway.
It's like a white cake with a bloody hand print on top of it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah,
Did you
very
make
cool.
that?
Heather did.
That's awesome. And the toys, she made those toys?
Yeah, she was the inventor of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
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 So Joe, you
Hold on, almost there.
He doesn't have those headphones on.
There's another
he
cake.
heard that he can hear though
Sorry, what'd you say?
because of my crystal clear audio. Joe, you had a birthday party to go to last week that we spoke about briefly. I don't know if it was on the podcast, and you were mentioning how many birthday parties
You're right.
there are, and you were kind of not,
He wasn't happy about it.
super
No.
thrilled about it. And
Why
now
not?
this weekend you have another birthday party that you're more responsible for. What's your what are you doing? What are you doing with all
What are
these
you doing?
birthdays?
Losing
What's
my
the deal with all these
goddamn mind.
birthdays?
And are you excited about like this one's better because it's your kid?
It's his own son.
Yeah,
Here,
but
we've
how
got
was
10,
the other one?
We got 10 kids that are going to be here, but then we've
Whoa.
also the
Adults.
the adults.
yeah.
They're all everybody's fine. This is not a big place, but it's like we send the invitations out. And we're like, you could just drop them off.
You just
Yeah.
not.
You could just drop them off. We like kids, but in today's day and age, most parents aren't comfortable with just dropping their kids off. So then you have a bunch of adults you have to entertain and talk to in the no space. So that's
Yeah.
what
Do
I'm
you
not.
provide do you guys provide like refreshments for
Oh, you
folks?
have to. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's miserable.
Wow.
They're all
I think
fine
I would have
people.
felt
I
the
like
same
them
way
all.
looking at that dentist bill, thinking about that.
If we had a bigger place or a backyard, it'd be different, but it's just so small. It's
It's gonna
not
be cramped.
it's gonna be cramped.
Let them play in the street.
COVID-19.
God, I would. Definitely would. But this will be fun. Jackson's gonna have a good time, and once the kids are all like running around and like
Yeah.
enjoying life, it's like, oh yeah, this is like the why I fucking stressed out.
Yeah,
Forever.
nice.
So I have a question about Five Nights at Freddy's because I like I love the concept. Like it seems almost like it's perfect for our generation, Joe, because we
Yeah.
grew up with those things.
Yeah, I
Those,
mean,
like,
it could have been. I think
Pizza parlor animatronics. Like it's so interesting that it captured the imagination of the generation that never got to see those in real
Yeah.
life.
yeah, I think they did a little bit more than you might expect.
Like Jackson was born 10 years ago, and there was not a Chuck E. Cheese with animatronics in existence.
ours still
I
had
think
one or
they
two
still-
little animatronics running
Yeah.
around.
No way.
Yeah.
The one
I
in
think
Burbank?
so, man.
Yeah,
Maybe there was that one Chuck
it was like
E.
the
Cheese.
DJ.
There's like a one Chuck E. Cheese. There's like one Chuck E. Cheese in all of LA that has like one last animatronic
The last animatronic.
in it. But isn't that interesting that all these kids are like obsessed with it? But like we went to every birthday party in one of those.
Well,
place.
Well, what's crazy is that the pop culture reverberation didn't really, I think, start from the game itself. I think the game would have come and gone, but what kids are obsessed with is YouTube. And when it became big,
playthroughs.
Markiplier, PewDiePie, and
That's
Jacksepticeye all took that game on and started making content with it, and it blew it out of the water. Literally,
Yep.
those three made Five Nights at Freddy's.
So you
matter.
think the game itself is not really what
It wouldn't have been
what
as
the kids
big,
are
he's
into? Oh, you're saying it got to more eyeballs.
They made it cool. It got to more eyeballs, and then it like once it
Mhm.
started rolling down the hill, it became part of pop culture. It became part of the zeitgeist. for
Because I
kids.
could see a Markiplier being more into an animatronic pizza place game because he probably went to them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So with that said, I tried playing that game
It's a garbage game.
and it's like pretty bad. And then I tried playing it in VR and it was actually kind of terrifying.
Oh.
Jump scares.
Yeah.
In VR, yeah, because you're like looking around and then all of a sudden you hear the the guy like coming down the hallway at you and you're like, whoa, that's fucked up. And then they like jump scare you every fucking 5 seconds. And I was like, how are kids enjoying this? Is there like a generation of kids that are being desensitized by jump scares and like scary things? Or do you think that they're not actually playing it?
I liked scary things when I was that age. I think,
But
it's
not
just,
like super jump scare shit.
Yeah.
Like that's like
it's just all adrenaline, dopamine chasing. I mean, and it's not like legitimately
Yeah.
scary, so like parents would let the kids play it because there's no blood, there's no gore, there's no violence. It's just jump scares. So
I find it legitimately scary. Is that just me?
yeah, you're a big fucking pussy.
My
Hey,
baby.
pussy. Hey, pussy.
Yes, it's
maybe because you're a big pussy.
it's a kids game, you
It's a
bitch.
kids game. That makes you a pussy.
I find it kind of scary. Am I really alone in that?
Ah, no. I
I've
would
never
play it.
experienced it.
It's
And I
terrifying.
never will.
Yep.
Like, cause it's scary, right?
I've truly. I've
Why
truly
don't you
never.
Like, you don't even want to try it, Kevin?
I would try it for sure, but I've never understood, and I know part of it's for like an audience, but how people get so scared at some of these games. Like people are genuinely terrified by it, and I don't understand
Well,
that.
so there was this game that came out. Like, come on, we've lived through like some of the historically scariest games, video games, like during the big experimental years when like real scary games would come out, like the Slender Man things and like Phantasmagoria or what was that
Amnesia
game?
or whatever.
Yeah, like
Majora's Mask. Yeah.
Phantasmophobia, or I can't remember what that game was called. You know what I'm
Yeah, it was
talking
something
about?
like that. Yeah.
It was literally a game where you were a ghost hunter and you would go into a spooky house and then you would hear like voices and like scary ghost shit. It was basically like Paranormal Activity, the game. But you were like in it. And it was fucking terrifying. Like I was screaming, like genuinely screaming playing that game.
Well, it's like that Aliens game. Did that scare the
Yeah, I
crap out
played
of you
that
too?
one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I played Resident Evil VR from start to finish. And eventually I got so used to it that I was like playing it in the dark at night, like when everybody was asleep and stuff. But initially it was like the most terrifying video game experience I've ever had. It's a Resident Evil game in VR.
Yeah, VR definitely ups the ante. That would be how I'd want to try it if I did it.
That's what I'm saying. So
want
I bought Five Nights at Freddy's on VR, like way
VR.
back when it came out on the Oculus Quest, and I must have played like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, "How can kids play this?" It's like it's a nightmare. You're stuck in a little box, and these big robot animals are coming to kill you. Like, how is that not terrifying? How is that not a terrifying
I
concept?
agree. I agree.
It baffles me.
Do you guys
Like,
remember?
what's
Go ahead. That was
Go
total-
ahead. No, you go ahead. I was
This
going to
is
say, what was the
total-
equivalent of that when we were kids? Like,
I know,
was
that's
this-
what I was just like, did
like,
you
what was
guys
the
not?
scary thing?
But you guys
that we-
didn't have any VR or anything
Movies.
like that. Yeah, it was movies.
But what was like the scary thing that we were doing that adults were like, that's too scary. Why are you watching that? Or why are you doing that? You think it was like movies like Freddy? Like Freddy, like we watch Nightmare on Elm Street and not actually be scared, but my mom would walk in the room and be like, "Ah, the devil!" Ah!
Halloween Horror Nights has been around for quite a while. I feel like my folks would be like,
Oof.
like that's out of your mind.
Yeah,
Have
like,
you
why
done
would
it,
you do
Elliot?
that?
Have you Halloween Horror Nighted?
I've done it like once, I think maybe twice. And we just watched a video from our buds' Ordinary Adventures last night.
Yeah.
And they were doing Halloween Horror Nights, the new one, and we were watching. And we're just like, absolutely not. Like, there's no way we're gonna go into this.
I'm going on
Exorcist house.
Tuesday.
Really, dude? Oh, that's so cool. Let me know how
I
it goes.
love it.
I've never
part of me
been.
Does really? Yeah, because I remember being in one of those haunted houses and being like, I'm so just tired. I'm exhausted from getting scared, and like it got to a point where I was like, and I just wanted to cry.
You know why I think I'm more scared of something like Five Nights at Freddy's and not like a Universal Horror Nights maze?
Because you're a pussy.
Yeah,
No, it's because the Universal Horror Nights maze is like real, like people, like teenagers and young adults that are like working.
Well, and there's this like societal contract where they're not allowed to touch you or do
That
anything.
does
Well,
help.
not only that. Well, I mean, sure. I mean, yeah, you know they're not going to, but the jump scares and stuff. The jump scares are unavoidable. Like you're gonna, like you just can't. Like I don't think anybody's immune to jump scares. Pretty much. Like if you're really
Yeah,
gotten
you're gonna
right,
flinch.
you're gonna flinch. So like, but in my head, I'm just like, these are guys that jack off at night and drink too much on the weekends and go to fast food places, and like these are just like us, you know. These are just regular people putting on costumes.
This
But
feels
if
like
I
an
re-
argument as to why you would not. Why you would.
But see, here's what.
be
Let me
less
explain the
scared.
VR thing. So like the VR Five Nights at Freddy's thing is like, I don't know what this game is. I don't know.
You don't think that game is jacking off at night?
No, I just don't know.
Yeah.
No, it could be.
What do you think happens when you go to bed?
But I don't know. Like they can do whatever they want. They can have like a tiger come out, right?
Yeah.
And in the Universal Horror Nights, they couldn't do that because it would be
You
like
never know.
a dumb
for
looking puppet.
budgetary
It
reasons.
would just be like a dumb looking puppet or something. You'd be like, ah. But in the VR world, they can make anything they want. It doesn't have to be a human or an anthropomorphic being. It could be like a terrifying demon entity ghost thing
that isn't real.
that isn't real. Exactly. And I think that popping up in my face and me going like, ah,
Just-
seeing that is scarier than like a teenager.
But I think you just like gave yourself the solution, right? Like
Yeah,
public
it's
speakers
not
are told
real.
to make people naked, like in their minds when they're doing public speaking. So you should just make sure that everything that you see in Five Nights at Freddy's is jacking off, and
There you
you'll
go.
be fine.
Yes,
Let's go.
dude.
I'll give that a shot.
Pro tip,
Yeah.
I'll give
Give it a
that a shot.
Dude,
I'll do a stream.
go ahead, Ellie.
Kevin. The Last of Us one looked really cool.
I'm excited for that one. That's the one I'm most.
Oh, you're gonna hear the
And I'm-
clickers at some point.
Yeah,
I think I'm
dude.
done with Horror Nights at Universal.
He hates it, dude. He hates it.
I don't hate it. I think I'm just done. I've gone the past like 3 years,
It's enough.
and I think it's like always the same, and
It
it's
probably
always
is.
crowded as fuck,
Go
and
to
it's
Oogie
always
Boogie
like
or whatever it's called.
It's like
I'm never doing that.
dude. It's
either.
like Vegas. It's like Vegas. Like you got to go with the right people. If you go with the right group,
Yeah.
and you know you can have
I
fun with
see
it.
that.
You know,
okay,
put
yeah,
it.
but you know what? I'll tell you where I get my fix now. Not Scary Farm, because
Interesting.
it's cheaper,
Yeah.
and Universal has been slapped with so many complaining people about how scary it is, or how that person came too close, or that sound was too loud, or Chucky's saying bad words. Did you hear this? They've been bleeping Chucky.
No.
Like when you go into the Child's Play maze, he says the F word, but they bleep it.
bleep it.
I saw
And
the
everyone's
Exorcist.
like, yeah, people are upset about it.
The
People are like,
Exorcist one too. The girl will pop out and be like, "Nah, you're gonna go to hell," but nothing worse than that.
right?
your mother.
But
in
at
hell.
Knott's, at Knott's Berry Farm, they're jacking off right in front of you.
Which is why it's not scary, right?
Witches
not
and
scary.
stuff.
Yeah, they
No,
do
but
that
I-
at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party too.
But I do recommend Not Scary Farm if you want to try something a little cheaper and less crowded.
Do you guys find when you're going through these things as performers, like I have two things, like I have two emotions that I go with. There's like I don't want to be scared, and that goes away pretty quick, like, and the jump scares become annoying. But when the jump scares become annoying, I'm like, I start having like performer vicarious performer guilt for them.
Yeah,
like I'm
you
not,
start
I know
pretending.
that they're trying their best, and I don't want to make them feel bad.
This is
Like,
how
I-
I'm afraid. What I'm afraid of feeling when I get.
And then you
there.
get it starts to feel a little cringy, and then you're like,
cringy.
"Ugh."
The
Yeah.
cringe.
That's feel kind
yeah.
of bad, and then you kind of do like I would do like the fake scares where I would be like, yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
man.
do it.
You're doing great.
all the
You're doing
time.
great. Because you know, from
Whenever
their
I-
perspective, they're just behind the same wall for hours. And
I
I go,
Yeah.
know.
Hearing the same sound effect loop over,
Yeah.
like
And there's the poor girl that like screams at the top of her lung,
Yeah.
like over
Yeah.
and over and over.
I like going in the room where it's like there's like this operating table in like a spooky looking hospital
And some lady's
room,
like, "Ah!"
and the lights flickering. No, it's like there's like a guy dressed like a doctor over like a fake body on the gurney
Yeah.
with like their intestines hanging out, and the doctor is supposed to like walk up to you and go no or something like that, but instead you go in and they're like tired and they're kind of just standing there,
Just like
standing by the gurney, and
sipping
they're
on a
just-
Coke with a straw.
yeah, I've seen everything. I've seen overacting. I've seen tired. You couldn't pay them to pretend like they were actually scared.
And it's all just a
actors,
bunch
it's
of
the
like,
best.
passionate, well, not all passionate, but just like working actors just trying to make a buck and survive.
Ellie
Yeah,
knows
most
a
of these
bunch
people-
of them now.
Most of these people really love Halloween and like scaring people and stuff like there's a whole like almost like a carny
Mm.
world of like haunted house fans and stuff that like want to be part of it and not just be like go to them.
The ones that are on stilts and stuff, and the ones that have, do they still do the thing at Not Scary Farm where they
Dude,
slide across
they-
the?
Yeah, they do.
That's
and they
pretty
used to
sick.
do it at Universal, and then they just stopped one year and they didn't even explain it.
What is it?
Ooh.
It's like they put
like
those
have
metal
knee pads, and
pads.
they slide across the ground.
Oh yeah.
And they had
So
they have like
scary.
metal on their fingertips too, and they'll slash the ground
Yeah.
and it'll shoot
Yeah.
sparks. Dude, it's so cool. At Not Scary Farm, they had a section that was so foggy
Oh,
that
yeah.
you couldn't even
You
see
told
in
us
front
about
of your
this.
face.
Yeah.
And then like someone in like a pig mask would like come right up to your face and go, and you're like,
Jerking
Jesus,
off.
what the shit?
jerking.
I wish you were jerking off. I wouldn't have been scared. Yeah. Yeah.
I do want to go. It does sound fun. It does sound very enjoyable.
See, that's the thing where like even the Universal one, you're right. Like if you go with the right group, it's always fun or whatever.
We're
But
going on the preview night too, so it's hopefully not going to be like
it's just
the
the
normal
crowds.
crowd.
Yeah,
Dude,
the crowds
are
really ruin it.
insane at these things.
Yeah.
They wait for like 3 hours in a
For
line
a
out in the
maze.
heat.
Not this guy. No
And
way.
they're just, dude, and you and I, I've been invited a few times as a guest, and so I get to like walk right past everybody and just like go into the thing,
yeah.
and they look miserable waiting in line.
Yeah.
They look like they're like they're at the DMV.
Waiting in line to get the crap scared out of you is not like
That's
it's different if it's a
exactly.
roller coaster where it's like
Exactly.
thrilling, but just be like, I gotta wait here, and then I gotta just I'm not gonna enjoy it like
Dude,
fundamentally.
I feel the same way, Elliot. I think it's bonkers. Like I think I did it one year because I went with a group of people who were like, we just can't splurge for the VIP tickets because they are pricey and they're getting more expensive every year. So I was like, all right, fuck it, we'll go and have fun. And it's like you do one maze and then you're like, I think I'm done because
Jeez.
I'm not waiting in another fucking 2-hour line to walk through a 3-minute thing. And then like, no way am I doing this.
The Ordinary Adventures guys, they had the VIP thing, and they were like, if you can do it financially. But then they, at the end of the video, they were like, okay, we've done 8 haunted houses. We
Yep.
still have like 3 more left. And you're
Yep.
like, whoa, like how do you
Yeah.
even? I don't
That's-
even know if I would want to do that many that I can do. That's
Dude,
too
last
many.
time I went, it was me and Matt, Rob, and we just like we went from maze to maze to maze to maze to maze, and I think it took us an hour, and we got through like all 6 or 7 mazes or something, and then you're like, cool, we're done, and then we just went
Yeah.
home.
Yeah,
It was
that's
like-
great.
Because we didn't want to walk around. But after that, I was like, I wouldn't pay. Like we were invited that time. I wouldn't even pay the VIP price for the hour 6 maze experience because it's like, then what? You're just done.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna walk around the park after that because you're like exhausted, and it's packed.
It's super packed. It's crazy.
It's
You're
crazy.
crying.
Mhm.
You already jerked off.
Crying.
Like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
the
very
family
exhausting hour.
But not. I do appreciate. I think Knott's is a little. I don't know what it is. I think they care less about people complaining about stuff. I think Universal cares way too much about people complaining about stuff.
I guess they're like the gold standard, right? They're the
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
to.
no,
They want to appeal to everybody because they want everybody there. But man, I was reading a thread that said someone brought their like baby in a stroller to Horror Nights.
What the hell?
And it's like that's like gotta affect them for life, right?
Yeah.
Like, they
it will.
they're gonna
It
be
will.
like 9 and be like talking to the therapist and be like, I remember going somewhere where there was monsters.
Yeah.
Real
Therapist is gonna be like,
monsters.
sure you do, honey.
Yeah. Schizophrenic.
Therapist is just jacking off the whole time.
And it's on Zoom, so it's okay.
not scary.
Before we run here, because I think we're getting close to the end, I have some member berries that I experienced this week that I really enjoyed.
I want to know.
I watched the new Indiana Jones, and
Oh!
it's really fun.
You
and I'm
didn't
not-
see it? This is your first time
No.
seeing it?
No, I think it's really fun.
It's
I think
great.
I've got no qualms whatsoever.
Huh,
It's just a good ride. It's a good
Yeah,
fun ride.
Like if this one had come out instead of Crystal Skull, it would be like, man, they're like
Yeah.
every indie movie is good.
Yeah, it had great like
Oh, wow.
it felt like an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
Some of the shot compositions, especially in the beginning, were so fun and reminded me of like those like early 90s, late 80s like summer blockbusters. I had a great time. It
It's
was
just a fun action movie.
Yep.
Although, did you feel kind of like, man, Harrison Ford's so old?
Yeah, he was old, but I was talking to my buddy John about it. John Payne, you know John Payne.
Yeah.
They didn't try to hide it. Like in Crystal Skull, they kind of like tried to still make him feel like he was this like strapping man that was still an action star. They were like, this dude's old. He's playing old. He's an old man. He's retiring. He looks old, and we're gonna play into it, which I thought was great. They didn't try to hide it, and they even like went into like the conversation between him and Mads Mikkelsen, whatever his name is, the bad guy, about how like, oh, the world doesn't care about us anymore. We're old. And there was a fun little through line that they talked about. I really appreciated Phoebe Bridges. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Is that her
She's
name?
great.
She was in it as an actress?
Phoebe Waller.
That's her name.
No,
Right?
Phoebe Bridgers is the singer.
Yeah, and then there's Phoebe Waller Bridges, which is the
Fleabag
actor.
girl.
Yes,
But
Fleabag girl.
Phoebe Bridgers and Phoebe Waller Bridges.
I'm having my old man moment.
It's
Anyways,
totally like, I think they even worked together because of how funny the name thing is.
she is awesome in it. She's really fun.
She's so
I
good.
love her.
And I loved. There's this little character choice that they did, and I want to guarantee it was her coming in and just being like, I want to do this. I love that they like just subtly made her a player. Like she was like a male action star that was obsessed with fucking and like hooking up with random guys.
I love it. Just like the guy would have been if they had a young guy. Yeah.
I loved it so much. It was such a fun character.
And it wasn't like in your face. It was like very. It was done.
She was just
like
horny.
normal.
She was horny as fuck. It was great. I loved it. And then I watched the new Ninja Turtles and had a great time.
I haven't seen that one yet.
You were right, Kevin.
Had a great time.
Elliot, you saw that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, I do want to.
No,
though.
but I said that Joe would have
yeah.
a great time last time.
Great time. It's it's new, but it's like it's different, and it is nothing like it's ever been before, but it was still really fun.
Yep.
It was like watching a group of kids just hanging out, which is what when you think about it, Ninja Turtles probably
should have been.
all the time to a point. Super cool, super fun.
That's great.
By the way, I'm still playing Zelda.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm still playing.
That's okay.
I'm like trying to 100% the depths.
All the
my
little
God,
light
dude.
roots.
I'm trying to find all the light roots.
That was the worst part. Like I always avoided all of that.
You know the
I
trick,
just
right?
hated
To
it.
finding the light roots.
Yeah, I'm doing the reverse of that trick though.
Wait,
the one
what's
where
the
you
trick?
go to
I've
what's the
found
trick?
most of them.
all
They're
the
connected
shrines.
to the shrines.
Yeah.
So if you need a shrine and you have a light root, you can find it, and vice versa.
Yeah, usually because it's easier. I think it's easier in the depths because you can see the light of the like light roots from like the distance. I don't know. You can kind of do it in the surface too, but in the darkness, it's almost like easier to spot them. And what I'll do is when I find a light root, I'll just check the surface map and see if I
see it. It's
have
right
done
above.
that. Yeah, and if not, I'll just go right above and just and do the. It's really. I think it's the most efficient way if you're trying to do all the shrines.
100% it.
The problem is I have these shrine quests. I have no idea where they are. When you have to do like an adventure to get to the shrine, because I have like 4 shrines left, but I think I've all of them, all the light roots I've got. So I don't know where.
Whoa! So you're trying to find the quest shrines?
Yeah, probably in the sky. I probably haven't looked in the sky.
Maybe they're in the sky.
The crystals. You gotta
Some of
Go
those-
to disguise.
Some of those damn crystal ones.
Can
not my
somebody
favorite,
help
man.
me? Can somebody help me? I'd rather be in the sky than the depths, though.
Mm-hmm. Those scary down
Oh,
there.
the depths suck.
The depths really suck.
There's
I
not a
wish
lot
they'd-
going on.
I honestly, it feels like the depths were like underdeveloped. Like it feels like they were an afterthought.
I think they were purposefully underdeveloped. Like they're just like there's nothing going on there
Gross.
because it's
Yeah.
the fucking depths.
I just
Yeah.
wish that there was something like, because I know that there's like Lionel's down there and there's like a Molduga or whatever.
There's some
There's a-
cool. There's some cool monsters for sure. Like
Yeah.
they have the Gibido or whatever they're called.
Is that the one that I just fought? The one that's that little squid that comes out of the shark?
No, you're thinking of the Octorock thing, or
Octorock
or something.
Yeah, Octo something. Yeah.
This is the one that's based on the zombie guys that kind of come at you real slow, or they fly from the
Whoa,
desert.
what is that?
Have you done Gerudo yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the
That's
like
down there.
really slow moving skeleton.
Oh, those
things?
guys that have the ribs that are worth a lot of like power.
Yeah, but they their boss is like a big moth thing that is down there in the depths, and they also have a king Glock. And the Colosseums are really fun down there too.
Oh, the Colosseums. I'm not ready for that because I hear there's like Lionel, like they just throw
There's
a
a
bunch of
lot-
Lionels at you.
Yeah, one Lionel after another Lionel, and it's very
Jesus
it's
Christ.
terrible.
And the last Lionel is Lionel Richie, which is a crazy.
Yeah. And that's our time, everyone.
Yeah. Oh wait, I need help. Can you guys help me? What do I do? How do I get more of the like power coil things for my
Contraptions.
constructs? Like the thing he has on his belt where you add like a power battery cell
The
to them?
batteries.
We sent that thing to you. It's in the well, you got to go to the refineries down below and exchange them for more power crystals, and then
But-
take those power crystals to the guy right outside Lookout Landing.
And that's the
Dude,
guy.
I'm
And
loving this.
that's in the overworld or in the sky?
It's in the overworld. Yeah, we sent you it on a map. I showed you.
I think you sent it to me just
like-
before I needed it.
There's
and was
one
like, okay, I'll
outside
look at this
Lookout
later.
Landing, but there's also one right in the area that you start the whole game.
See, that's the one I've been going to. Should I not go to that one anymore?
They're the
Doesn't
same.
matter.
They're the same. Are you sure?
Mhm.
And I just need the crystal version of the.
100 crystals equals a new cell of energy.
Okay, so I just have to grind like a motherfucker in the depths and get a bunch of zonite.
Yes.
What do they call it? Zononite?
Yeah, a lot of
Charges.
zone, which means you gotta go around and get all those little camps of all
Yep.
those little monsters.
Yeah, those little
But-
guys that are farming it.
If you are exploring the depths anyways, this is unnaturally going to happen.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
don't worry,
that's
you're
true.
doing everything right, baby.
Got it,
Okay,
Steve.
I just feel like I'm so like I could go to the castle and start and like start finishing the like where's the princess quest or whatever. Like now I'm at the
Well,
point
here's a
where when I go
spoiler
to
for you.
Lookout Landing, everyone's like looking at the castle.
I'm
and
going to
they're
give
like,
you a spoiler. You ready?
Okay,
And
sure.
it's not a bad spoiler because I did this as well. You can go to the castle. It's got nothing to do with the ending. Go explore the castle like it's part of the overworld.
I'm just saying I haven't even done that yet.
Well, you
because-
can.
He's saying
There's-
you can.
There's not. It's
and
not.
but
the
I
end of
know
the
I
game.
can.
He doesn't
I know
want
I
to.
can. But I haven't done it yet, and I'm so deep into the game, and I only have 2 of those little battery.
Oh yeah,
cells.
you gotta go.
Man, you
exchange
got to
some of
get
your
those
zone
cells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll change everything for the game for you.
Yep.
But did it take you a while? You had to like grind and get like a bunch of zononite or whatever. Is it zononite?
Now I'm just
Zonite.
doing it because it's like like Joe was saying, he'll do the completionist thing. So I do it just because
Yeah.
it's nice. And now, yeah, I can like fly around on my little fan bike everywhere, but it also makes it kind of too easy. So you're probably having more fun inadvertently than
But it's
Hmm.
taking
Well,
it longer.
yeah.
So at some point, you won't want to just walk everywhere. I do have one final thing now before we leave because that hot
Okay.
dog on your wall there keeps
Yeah.
looking like a turd to me.
Yep.
And I just did a video over at React called Ask Trivia. So I'm going to ask you guys one of the questions that
Oh, great.
I presented everybody.
Oh, fun.
Closest wins. Closest to the answer wins. How many pounds a year, according to Time Magazine in a study they did, does the average human produce of poop? How many pounds of poop per
Does
year
a human produce per year?
does an average human produce per
Wow,
year?
It's got to be a lot.
How many pounds?
'cause if
of
you poop-
feces?
If a regular human poops like twice, sometimes 3 times a day,
Some would contend that's not regular. I don't know.
That's
maybe.
That's
What's
too
regular?
much.
Twice?
That's too much.
That's
Twice
too
as
much
regular?
poop.
I don't know.
Regular means once.
I know people that claim that they're like, I poop once a week, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what's
that's,
wrong with
I
you?
don't think that's good. I think pooping more is better than not pooping less.
I'm gonna say 500 pounds.
500 pounds. I love it. This is great. That's so much
Steve?
poop.
I'm gonna say 75 pounds.
75 pounds. Okay. Okay. So
I'm
we
gonna
got the
I'm
two
gonna meet in the
extremes.
middle, and I'm gonna no
Add some poop to those numbers. Let's get those rookie numbers, Kevin.
750 pounds.
750 pounds. This is the weirdest Price is Right episode.
Joe's reaction.
That's so much poop.
Well, here
It's also
was
much
my
poop.
logic, all right? I thought once a day
Yep.
is 2 pounds of poop.
Me too. I thought the same thing for a second. And then
No.
I think what this is going to boil down to is that we don't know how much a pound weighs.
That's yeah. Here's what I'm going that off of though. There's been times in the past where I've done the thing where you have to poop really bad and then you weigh yourself and then you poop and then you weigh yourself after to see how much you lost. And sometimes it's been like even more than 2 pounds.
Dude,
Yeah.
we used to do that in wrestling. Like when we had
Yeah.
to drop weight, we'd be like, yes, I got to poop. Let's go.
Nice.
The answer is 312 pounds of poop.
Whoa.
So we're
Done.
averaging just under a pound a day of
Yeah.
feces flying out of your body.
That's great.
312 pounds, eh?
So that means we're eating. Does that equal the amount of food too, or is that like?
I don't think so.
No
And
way.
it's not counting urine.
Yeah, urine, what your body is like actually converting, all that, you know?
I
So
love
if
that.
you just stopped eating, you could lose a little like
You could
a little
lose
under a
weight
pound.
if you stopped eating.
You could
Yeah, if
basically
you
lose
really
weight
lose
if you
weight if
stopped
you
eating.
just stopped eating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you really want to think about it, you can claim
What are
that
you, my
every
dad?
year, every single year, you can claim that you lost 312 pounds. You worked
Yeah.
real hard.
Whoa.
Every year that you're alive somehow.
Listen, doctor.
Wait, what about how many pounds of food does one human eat in a year?
Well, that would depend on your
Let's
lot
talk
in
about
life.
Let's talk about geographical, like United States.
I bet you it's the number would be so astronomically high it would surprise you.
Yeah,
I'm asking
like
ChatGPT.
1,400 pounds of
ChatGPT.
food a month.
It would be
On
like
average, an American consumes approximately 1,996 pounds of food every year. This includes all types of foods and beverages, which isn't
almost
2,000 pounds a ton.
That's almost 2,000 pounds.
Isn't that a ton?
I thought
Like-
10 pounds was a ton.
No. No way. You don't
Damn.
weigh
explains a lot.
20 tons.
All
What
right.
if you weighed
end
yourself
on that.
in tons?
Isn't 12 pounds a baker's dozen?
Just when you go to just to put like the weight into perspective, like just imagine holding a 45-pound weight at the gym. Like that's
Dude,
you're like
It's
that's heavy.
insane.
Yeah.
It'd crush you.
I can bench 2,000 pounds, no problem.
We know.
We've seen it.
You've seen
It's
it.
horrifying. All right, well, guys,
God
thanks for
bless you
listening. I
all.
hope you enjoyed the time that we have shared with you today. And
We're going to go have a birthday party.
we're going to have a birthday party.
Yep.
Yes, we are.
I'm going to have a birthday dream party right now. I'm going back to bed.
I'm gonna figure out how to set up automatic fantasy football.
I just had my
roster.
draft yesterday.
I
I'm
named
going to
my
have
team.
chat.
Did you have yours? Yeah. I'm naming my team the Mighty Ducks.
You should just have Chat
really like that.
GPT
That's nice. I'm very
run
proud.
your. You should have Chat GPT run your
Your draft
fantasy football league.
I don't want
that's
to hear
great.
about any of this shit.
Joe Wednesday.